Look at this place. Settlements in trees, the architecture, the culture. Coming here just for that would be good reason to admire the place.
Well, don't forget, we are here because we want to actually learn more about Kirin, now that you are one yourself. That, and you also owe me some time together after being gone for so long.
I know. I should at least let you know why I was gone. It's just, things were really unexpected back then. But hey, now that's done, we can spend as much time together as we want.
Indeed. And we can also expand our knowledge about Kirin from the best possible place, the source. What's wrong? Something happened?
Is it just me or does this particular Kirin looks oddly familiar?
Weird. I don't remember there being a Kirin with a green horn.
Excuse me, have we met before? Do you know who we are? Can you speak? Oh, for the love of... Couldn't we meet the Kirin that actually speaks?
Editor?
Yep, it's me. Sorry, but I just had to. You should have seen the look on your face, Sharp. So priceless.
Oh, you... So, I see you actually figured out how to change your species as well.
Yeah, it took me some time, but I did it. Although the effects is just temporary. I thought that since I was here to review the Kirin episode, I might as well dress for the occasion.
That's amazing. But I'm also a bit jealous. I'm the only non-Kirin here. Wish I could see myself as one though.
Ah, then why didn't you say so sooner? So, how do you like this?
Holy!
Oh my Celestia, I love it! I feel so fluffy yet not warm underneath. Ooh, I love the style of my cloak, showing off the fluff yet still keeping me covered enough. Not used to seeing a horn on me, but I can manage.
Now, like I said, this will last just for a while. But I think it's enough time for us to actually explore Kirin's further. So, want to talk about this episode together?
Of course, I would love to.
Are you sure there's no way to keep this form?
'Cause rainbows won't light up the sky unless you let it rain. And shiny apples sometimes come with worms. Now you can't give up your laughter 'cause you're scared of a little pain. It's a lesson that the Kirin never learned.
Episodes that introduces a new race always piques my interest because of the fact alone. But at the same time, I have a little gripe with them because it introduces a new creature, rather than expand on already existing one and also end up making the new race unlikable. I'm looking at you, Yaks! So I usually approach them carefully to see if those are done right. And did this one finally broke the trend? To put it simply, yes.
You're just salty that you didn't get the zebra development. But yeah, introducing a new race in MLP is a risk since we already have a variety of creatures, especially those we have little to no development on.
Like zebras.
Shush.
Anyway, the Kirin is a surprise race for me, yet they're very interesting to say the least.
What's even more interesting is that this is a map episode. So far, all map episodes have resolved around the races we've already known to have a problem within friendship, or even races that are just given map episodes to expand on their own development. But not this time. We have a brand new race to look into. But for that, they pair off the most oddly coupling imaginable for a new race to learn about. Honesty and kindness. I mean, I get Fluttershy because she'll be our first interaction and you need a nice opening welcome and demeanour towards them. But why Applejack? This answers itself later on, but we'll get to that later.
There's also another, much simpler explanation, and that would be riders being out of idea for new pairings for map quests and recycling those that we've seen already. Is it an issue? Honestly, no, because this had to happen eventually. Even if the map expanded the circle of ponies that can be summoned, there are still limits of characters that can be sent. So instead of coming up with ideas for new pairings, it's simply easier to write a story to fit already used one in which both elements can shine, or even fix a bit of imbalance in that shining in comparison to previous episode, like here.
Speaking of the duo, I see that Fluttershy has had enough of Applejack's stubbornness to the point of yelling back at her. Maybe that's how she felt all this time towards RD, but never could say it until now towards someone similar. Also, the part where Fluttershy got distracted by the squirrels is something I can relate, since I too can easily get distracted. Oh, a butterfly!
Stay away, this is mine!
Aw, come on, Sharp. Can't I just enjoy the view?
No, this view is reserved for me.
What view?
Nothing!
If it's nothing, then why are you blushing?
Rookie. Anyway, can we get this started, please? I don't know how long this is going to last for, so let's get this over with already.
Oh, right, sorry. Anyway, the good part is that Fluttershy's distraction turns out to be an advantage, since the squirrels are the only creatures that can tell the duo some crucial info, like the shortcut and the flowers. I mean, who else could they rely on for info? This guy?
Nothing but uncharted terrain and wild beasts out that way.
No, thank you.
By the way, should we do something about him?
Leave that to me.
What were we doing again?
We were just about to talk about the Kirin.
Oh right, the glorious Kirin race. I'm still surprised of how much popular they've become after barely one episode, while much hyped creatures like Hippogriffs featured in full-length movie and several episodes got their moment, but didn't actually become some big thing in the community, despite making Silverquill canon. Kinda. But there's something in Kirin's that draws the attention, despite sharing the same base model with ponies and adding unique features. Heck, their leader have the same body type as Celestia, but I think it's the details that make them stand out. First of all, the fluffy lion-like mane, the unique horns, almost like antlers, the dragon-like scales, or the whole lore of Kirin's and Nyrix. But probably the biggest selling point is the source material, as this is one of the rare occasions where MLP is adding creatures based on mythology from other regions than Europe. In this case, we're talking about creatures from Asian mythology.
And on that note, I am so glad that we're covering other mythologies. Don't get me wrong, the majority of the creatures we see are from Greek mythology, and they chose a great selection so far. But it's nice to see that they're including different cultures in the show in a very subtle way, which I've only ever seen fans of the show do that. Such as a good friend of mine, Twist of Fate, having his OC be a puka from Irish mythology. So where are they going to go after this, I wonder? But for now, I'm sold.
I agree. The Kirin, or Quilin as is known in China, is a great addition to the MLP world for not just canon-wise, but the implications that the staff cares for the different cultures of their viewers. Speaking of culture, I like how their lifestyle is so relaxing and happy until the Nyrix incident, which, in full MLP style, is expressed through a song.
Which is performed by community newest favorite character Autumn Blaze. Bit not there because of so long time being cast away and alone, so you can't exactly blame her for being quite hyperactive when meeting Applejack. Gotta say, for me making character of that trope is tricky because line between enjoyable and annoying can be thin. But in her case, she is very much entertaining and I enjoy every moment she's on screen. Mostly crazy and hyperactive, but when it's needed she is more serious. And her song? Pure earworm that also gives us the nutshell version of what happened, as well as for Applejack, showing her the friendship problem. With the recent track record of musical numbers being weak or misplaced, or both, one that's none of those is much welcome, especially considering songs are a rarity in the past few seasons, if we don't count musical episodes.
Well, one thing that helps in relation to AB's crazed look on the world is that she's voiced by one Rachel Bloom, and for those unfamiliar about her work, she has been Princess Peach in Starbomb's song Luigi's Ballad, also in 2005's TV series Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and many other suggestive title pieces of work that I'm not so sure are kosher for this channel. But it's her own approach to the performance itself that makes the character stand out from any of the other characters that we've seen in the show already voiced by a celebrity.
Definitely, which makes her even more loved by the community for her individuality. Unlike with Cheese Sandwich and Rara, where it's easy to see the VA instead of the characters. With that being said, I love the song ever since I first watched the Comic-Con recording of it. Although it was very hard to hear the Phantom of the Opera reference with the crowd laughing at that bit.
It's MOP after all, it matches Borderlands in terms of references at this point. But besides that, and the song being great and catchy, it also gives Applejack all the necessary information to finally understand the mission. So right away she ran back to village to talk about it with Fluttershy, who, surprisingly, also figured out the friendship problem. But unfortunately the details of what are much different. It's actually quite legit conflict with neither side being in wrong. On one hand, AJ is right on life without feelings being wrong. On another, knowing that Kirin's rage caused literal flame war, some temper of their emotions should be in place. Even if the whole time I felt that Fluttershy is making several steps back in the development of her confidence. Still, she had enough of it to cause an argue with Applejack, which is something that Kirins don't like to the point of forcing them to dive into stream of silence? Guys, that's too extreme, you don't treat outsiders like that.
Luckily for them, that Autumn comes to the rescue and, with few words spoken, is able to break apart the angry mob. Ironic, the one who can talk is the one who can see the errors of their ways. Either that or learning from her mistakes. And actually put it very poetic way. If I were to think of this as a yin and yang, one cannot exist without the other. To lose one is to lose everything. And again, with this, giving up happiness so that you can't get angry with anything, it's just arrogance.
Kind of like you and me in our relationship, since we're so different from one another.
Why don't both of you get a room later so we can focus on this?
Oh, right. Fortunately, the other Kirins realize what they've lost thanks to Autumn, AJ, and Fluttershy's explanation. Unfortunately, Autumn ran out of false breath, the cure for the stream of silence. It's a good thing no words need to be said for everyone to start looking for the flower.
Although getting to realization itself took a moment of charades and some practical use of theory about taking some time away as Nirik. However, the search itself became conveniently short thanks to Fluttershy and what looked like waste of time helping animals, who, in return, helped them to find the flowers they need, which turned out to be the same flowers she gave for them. This is pretty much the main difference between this episode and Vivala's Pegasus. Back then, it was mostly Fluttershy who was contributing in solving the problem, while all that Applejack did was being stubborn in helping Flim and Lamb. This time roles are reversed and it was AJ who contributed the most, however Fluttershy also did something thanks to the fact she helped the animals who, in return, helped them, as well as her conclusion about Kirin's and Nirik sort of led them to compromise of keeping voices and emotions, as well as making sure their Nirik form won't cause destruction again. Having that out of the way, all that's left is delivering the flowers, curing Kirin's, thanking Autumn Blaze, and a little rephrase of her song to summarize another friendship mission accomplished. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, overall for this episode, it's a nice life lesson about not having to give up what you love with the fear of something negative happening as a result of it. Also, the design of the Kirin and the way that they introduce both lore-wise and character-wise is a true joy to anyone. It's no surprise why these are often seen as a change for a close-to-show accurate non-pony OC that would be a nice recreation. I enjoyed it and I hold it up there with one of the betterly made episodes of Season 8. And seeing as how this is Season 8, that's saying a lot.
Well, besides the Asian-inspired creatures, I personally loved this episode. I was on the hype bandwagon the moment the song was first revealed for the episode, and boy was I not disappointed. The song was great, the characters, old and new, are great, and the visuals are astounding. Easily one of the best episodes of the season, and definitely one of my favorites of the entire show.
I think it's easy to say this is by far my favorite episode of the season. It's one of those cases where I actually can't see some serious flaws, if any at all. For starters, it's a map episode that, despite one character having a dominant role, have both contributing in solving the problem. Then we have a world building with introducing new land and new cool species with interesting lore. And come on, Kirins themselves are just cool. I love their design as well as the very fact of what inspired them. Easily a new fan favorite species and new fan favorite character, Autumn Blaze, having a nice balance of being quirky in a good way. And of course the moral. One of those everyone benefit from. Combining all that, in my opinion, it's safe to say this is one of the best episodes of Season 8. But how about not just us would have a voice? You guys should also tell us your thoughts about the episode. You like it or not? What do you like and what not? Tell us all about it below, and as always, I'm Sharpwit.
I'm Violet Bloom saying stay blossom, my friends.
I'm the editor, and cut, that's a wrap.
What's happening?
Violet's turning back to normal. Weird, the effect was supposed to last longer. Must have been getting absorbed by us over time.
I think I know where the remaining magic is going. Hello, boys.
Well, hello there. You come here often?
She's mine!
Flaring, did you put Sharp under the love spell again? I told you to not tap into your inner Aeon too much.
What happened?
You don't want to know.
'Cause